Hey guys, so today Sunday, I'm gonna cook my food for a whole week. So wanted to make a video about that. What technically what we need is, and I already started kind of chopping things, but I might as well actually go through a process of what I do. So what I need, or what I use technically, is 2 pots. I use Redmond salt, which is a really good salt. Organic ground pepper. I use a pixie dust, which is a seasoning blend. And then celery, carrots, garlic, onions. I do 2 chickens, whole chickens. I usually buy my meat in Costco, Aldi, and Whole Foods. And on top of 2 full chickens, I usually add a little bit of breast chicken. When it comes to the beef, I do it 2 ways. These you can buy in Costco. They're about $20 for 3 pockets. Close to, let's say, 4.5 pounds. And then I add beef stew, or you can buy a beef which is about $5.50 per pound. If they come usually about 4.5 pounds per pack, so I'll buy that. If I'll use beef like this, I'll add another 1.5 pounds of the ground beef. If I use 4.5 pounds of ground beef, I'll add another 1.5 pounds of like a beef stew. So I technically cook like this every Sunday. Let me make some room. And all right, so when it comes to the vegetables, and I don't use a lot of vegetables, some onions, garlic, celery. You can buy celery like this is, for example, from Aldi. I think it's about $2, $2.50 per pack. That will last you 2 weeks. When it comes to the beef, like I said, the 3 packs of ground beef, organic, it'll cost you about $20. 2 chickens will cost you between $20 and $30. 1.5 pounds, let's say, extra of beef stew. It's about $7.50. And you know, like onions and carrots, we're talking about $1 or $2 here. So technically, when you combine the total cost of food for a whole week, it's about $60. Let's say even if you make it 70, that's about $10 per day, and you have your beef, and then you have your chicken. That's actually not bad. That's about $5 if you make it, if you split it in half. Sorry, my robot vacuum is cleaning up the tank. So that's actually, you know, like I said, $5, where you're gonna get a good meal for $5. So when it comes to the ground beef or beef, I take a celery and I chop it into a small pieces. Let me see if I can bring the camera down. Probably use 2 more sticks. And the reason why I add celery, so look, I don't technically use anything just for the flavors, because like I said, flavor, it's not my priority. But celery's got a good fiber. It's got a lot of fiber, and it actually takes more energy, caloric energy, to break it down that it actually provides. So fiber, and you can research what fiber does for you. It's actually pretty important when it comes to part of your nutrition. Now, wash all your vegetables. Make sure they're nice and clean. And since today is Sunday and I'm leaving on a vacation, in technically 5 days, 6 days on Friday. So this will be my last time I'm cooking for a couple of weeks, since I'm gonna be gone for almost a month. Please don't cut yourself. All right. So we chopped up the celery. Now I have this, when it comes to pots, please do not use aluminum. Do not use anything that's coated with the non-stick Teflon, because Teflon, it's a forever chemical. There's a lot of information out there. It's a chemical that once enters your body cannot break it down ever. So it sticks around and it causes a lot of harm. It is known. There has been a court case, and the company that manufactures the Teflon, which is a PF something, I forgot what's the name of the chemical, that is being harmful, and for some reason they still did not remove it from the market, and it's still used in the food industry. And this is one of my biggest gripe with companies like, for example, McDonald's, like everybody that uses paper plates or paper cups. Those things are soaked, with that chemical, so it doesn't technically make the paper plates or cups saggy. And like I said, and it's those are chemicals that are being very harmful. There's one you can call it a food restaurant, which makes actually pretty decent food, but they use paper. They use those paper technically bowls, and the reason for that is, well, because it's not being banned yet. Well, so you make a good food by you put in a shittiest paper bowl. Technically, that what's the point of like I said, of having a non-GMO and all these type of foods when you use a garbage to kind of put it in. The big pieces will go into the taller pot. So we're technically making a chicken soup. On top of the protein and stuff like that, actually chicken soup has a lot of amino acids that are actually very good for improving your immune system. Also, from the bones of chicken, you get a lot of collagen. So it helps to improve your tendons and keep your skin more elastic and such. So instead of buying collagen powder, for example, that some people add to protein shakes and that. And collagen, it's the cheapest form of protein, actually. Just, have a chicken soup, a little bit of chicken broth, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so we have a celery. That's number one. Now, we're going to add probably about 3 onions. All right, so let me put the pots away. Let me adjust the camera a bit. All right. So cut away the ends of onion. I'll do a small cut across the first layer. Okay. This onion looks like it's already going bad, so let me cut out the bad section of it. So we'll just grab another one. So let me see. Okay. Unfortunately, it's hard to see if the onions are sometimes fresh, and the bunch that I pick this week seems less so, but most of it is still pretty good. And like I said, if you don't like onions, you can, so sometimes I use mushrooms when it comes to my beef. Before I used peppers, bell peppers, so I would get like 2 or 3 of them and just chop them up. And there's a little trick that you can slice the onion like in couple, let's say 3-4 sections, and I'll show you what to do. We'll put it on top of the gas range and burn it a bit, and that actually adds like a really nice flavor to your chicken soup or to your beef. So we'll add extra onion because, like I said, because the other one looked, I think what it was is I actually left it in the garage for a couple hours, and we had a super freezing temperature. So sometimes the temperature, it can discolor onion if it's if you freeze it. All right. I love onions, so never enough. But obviously you don't want to have an onion soup or onion beef. Okay, so let me show what I'm gonna do now. Get some couple more pieces like so. And while this is once we're gonna turn on the gas range, we can peel carrots, for example. No, it keeps sliding on me. Come on. All right. So you can pile up your onion like on top of the grid. Turn your gas, and what it's gonna do is gonna burn it a bit, and that's gonna give it like a really nice flavor once you add it to your soup or, like I said, beef or anything else you're cooking. All right, so we have celery, couple carrots, a couple of sticks. We have 3 onions, let's call it, and then 3 carrots. The carrots are only going to the chicken soup and not to the beef. This is a really good peeler from KitchenAid, but technically any peeler is gonna do. Like previously stated, wash your vegetables. I'll cut this one into 3 sections, and I'm gonna throw it in a pot for the chicken soup. And let's get the other 3. Don't add too much carrots. It depends really, like I said, how big your pot is because if you add too much carrots, then it becomes a little bit sweet. And also, usually when I cook my food in my fridge, my food lasts about 8 days. After 8 days, it will spoil. But if you add more carrots, for example, a lot of vegetables, it seems to shorten the freshness kind of the meal, because I'm guessing the carbohydrates you can find in vegetables. And so usually, like I said, it's usually for me it's onion and a half for beef and chicken soup. Bunch of sticks, like I said, 5-6 sticks of celery, 3 carrots, whole clove of garlic. So I add garlic to my chicken soup and to my beef. But carrots only go to chicken soup. All right, let me wash those. All right, now these are, like I said, so the other onions are gonna be, are right now just kind of baking there. I'll chop these up in like a smaller pieces and throw it into a beef. For chicken soup, I'll just use big pieces, and I don't chop it up. And these are thrown in the chicken soup. All right, so let's see what's going on with an onion. So as you see, the onions, and don't burn yourself, see how they caramelize? They have this like nice burnt color. So what I'm gonna do is the onions for the chicken soup are gonna go in a whole piece. So I'll throw them like so. The onions for the beef, I'll chop them up in a smaller pieces. So as you see, slippery, a little burnt. Let me get a bigger knife. It's just knife. It's easier. Let me just bring it here, it'll be easier. Oh shit, almost dropped it. All right, I'll go get the remaining pieces. And this is, like I said, this is just a unnecessary step, but you know, because like I said, everybody has different tastes. But you can always, like I said, just kind of try it for yourself, and it doesn't take that much extra time. And like I said, you might actually enjoy the kind of, you know, taste of it, and versus just a regular onion. that's not been kind of burnt. All right, so I got like some bigger pieces, and then I'll throw into my chicken pot. Chicken pot. All right, and these little guys over here, I'll chop them up in smaller pieces, and that's gonna go into my beef pot. This whole process usually takes me about an hour or even less. So when I go to Costco, I usually buy enough meat to last me 2-3 months. So I do one big shopping. So for example, if I buy the ground beef pockets, I'll get like 10, 12 sets of 3. Then I'll grab a bunch of beef stew if they don't have a beef stew. Then what I do is technically I forgot what's the name of the beef, but like I said, it's about it's roast beef, or it's a bigger piece, and usually it's about $5.50 per pound. Then I'll buy a bunch of chickens. So chickens are usually the ones that I buy are packed of 2. And like I said, and so I buy enough to last me that long, and then like every 2 weeks I'll just go and I'll buy fresh vegetables. All right, so one pack. Now, when I what do you call it? When you touch chicken, please wash your hands every time you touch something else, because of salmonella. Beef is less of a problem. Chicken, you do not want to cross-contaminate surfaces. So each time I handle chicken, so I usually handle chicken right at the end. And like I said, wash your hands, wash your knives, or whatever the raw chicken kind of touches. Make sure you use antibacterial soap or equivalent. All right, so we got 3. All right, I have to now. Beef usually, like I said, so this is the beef stew. They usually come in bigger sections, so I chop them up a little bit more to make them smaller. And then what I do is I soak it in water, get all the blood, and if there's a dye in it, because beef naturally, it becomes like it's very light and gray. The ones you pack, it's like it's red as like a lipstick. So I put in the water, like I said, and then I wash it make sure I drain the water, put the water, then put in the drainer, make sure all the water and whatever dye or blood or whatever it is, it technically comes out of the beef. So the beef is already in. The onions are in, garlic. Garlic will be the last thing for me. And let's say garlic I usually buy in Costco too, but I forgot, so I bought this garlic in Aldi, and this garlic is a product of China, which I'm not a fan of, but and like I said, this is right now Costco is far from me, so I'm not gonna be driving 40 minutes to just buy a garlic and whatnot. So if I use the garlic for chicken soup, I'll throw in a whole piece. When I use the garlic for the beef, I'll chop it up into smaller pieces, and it kind of later, like once you cook it, it kind of disappears too. You just get a bunch of small pieces. But same thing is, I have my way of doing things, and you can just drop it and, like I said, and be done with it too if you don't want to waste your time. The flavor is not gonna change, obviously. Same thing is, you know, maybe you're not a fan of garlic. That's really up to you, right? But like I said, try different vegetables and kind of see what works for you. Different flavors, because if you create a recipe for yourself that you're gonna love, it'll be easier for you to stick to, you know, stick to that sort of a diet. Because look, the fact, you know, they say like anything you get on, eventually you have to get off. So this can be just a diet. It has to become like your lifestyle, like something that you can live with and technically eat that on a daily basis. Because look, your body adjusts its metabolism to how you eat. I don't know if you guys know what's like the Nest thermostat, right? The way it works is it learns the temperature that you like. So for example, let's say you like 68 degrees in your house. And let's say it's winter time, so the temperature is gonna drop, the Nest is gonna turn on and it's gonna set it to 68, right? So it's gonna turn on the heat till 68 hits. Same thing is, you know, summertime, you know, your temperature will bump up to 80, for example. You turn on the AC to bring it down to 68. So your metabolism kind of works in a pretty similar way, is that your body creates this kind of norm for your body weight. So now, for example, let's say you want to diet because you have a vacation, or you have a, you know, women, you know, they diet down for weddings and stuff like that. But then, you know, after that's over, they kind of go back to their old habits, and your body weight kind of goes back to what it was before, because that's what is norm for your body. So same thing as with thermostat, for example, you know, you don't want to be at 68 anymore, you want to be at 72. You know, so you change it to 72, and your body, you know, the thermostat's gonna kind of bring it down to 68 again, because that's what it's a norm. But if you keep changing that, then it's gonna go, you know, then it's gonna dial it down to 69, and eventually, if you keep, you know, if you're being persistent, it's gonna bring your average temperature to 70, and then it's gonna then just gonna keep it at 70, right? Because it's learning what you want. Well, you have to teach your body. You have to teach your body, you know, or you have to technically, so your body learns what you actually want, what's your ideal weight, and that's gonna be, you have to be persistent in staying in the range that you actually want to be at. You know, the thing is that, so listen, if you eat 2,000 calories every day, you know, your body can adjust to it, and then it's gonna, you know, it's like a predicting machine, right? It's like you function on 2,000 calories, and that's gonna become your norm, and that's what your metabolism is gonna be like. But if one day you're gonna eat 2,000 calories, the next day you're gonna eat 1,500, then, you know, day after that you're gonna eat 2,500, right? Because sometimes people eat, you know, different meals. Every day you receiving different amount of calories, and it's like, it's very confusing to your body, because they have to keep adjusting things, you know, to stay norm. But if you eat, like I said, the same meals, you know, so you can have buy an egg cooker. So for example, you know, have like 4 eggs for breakfast, and the Greek fed yogurt that I eat, these are also in Costco. I think it's like $6 a tub, which is 48 ounces. And this tub's got 8 servings per container, with 18 grams, let's say, per serving, right? So 18 grams of protein per serving. So technically, when you think about it, if you have 4 eggs, and let's say eggs are 7 grams of protein, so that's 14, that's 28 grams, okay, out of 4 eggs of protein. And then you have, let's say, serving and a half, which will give you 18, which will give you, for example, 27 grams of protein. That already puts you in like 50, 55 gram range of protein just in the morning. And if you do this every day, you know, you're gonna be all right. And then, you know, like I said, I eat my breakfast at 4 in the morning because I wake up super early for work. Then I do my beef, which I get about 80 grams of protein. That's gonna be at 9 o'clock. And then I have another meal at 1 o'clock, which is like 5 hours later. Out of chicken, I get 80 grams of protein per that. And then at night, I might have a chicken breast. I might have a fish. Or something that's technically same thing as I can add a protein shake, for example, or, you know, Greek fig yogurt. You can, and you know, you can mix a little bit of eggs, for example, a little bit of chicken breast, but enough to where I get another 80 grams. So that's 80, 160, 240, for example, and you know, let's say if you got about 60 in it, so that's 300 grams of protein, which is really hard to get to, you know, get to that point. But the thing is that once you eat the same thing and you make all the adjustments and you eat the same thing every morning, it becomes easy to achieve that because like I said, it's you know, just kind of do simple math. But if one day you're eating this, the other day, you know, like when you keep changing your food constantly and you're not being consistent, of course, yeah, it's gonna be hard to kind of achieve that, you know, that type of goal. So I have a chicken breast here. I'm gonna wash it down with water. Let me see. So usually I get like a couple pouches of chicken breast, and because like I noticed the 2 chickens usually do not get me through enough protein for a week. So 2 chickens and couple, like 2 larger pieces of chicken breast usually get me through enough. All right, this is the second one. And I'll kind of put like about slice and maybe like 3-4 strips, smaller pieces. So later you can just pull them out and you know, you can take like I said, once this is cooked, you can put like 2-3 pieces out, for example. Use your favorite, like just buy like, or you can make your own ranch dressing or some sort of a sauce. Maybe if you can stand just chicken breast by itself because it doesn't have a lot of flavor. If that's your thing, just kind of find a solution technically for, you know, to get you where you want to be at. You know, a lot of people, it's like, you know, they ask you for an advice and you know, you ask them, it's like, well, what do you eat every day, right? And, you know, and you kind of give them an advice like, oh, you know, but I don't like this, I don't like that. Whereas like, well, then why the fuck are you asking me? It's like, if you want to look the way you look, just do things that, you know, obviously it's something's not working for you, you know, so you have to make a sacrifice. You know, if you gain a lot of weight over years, same thing is like, don't expect you're going to lose all that weight fairly quick and it's going to be easy. Obviously, if it will be easy, we don't have a lot of obese people, right? And this whole goal is technically you have to change something in order for you to change the way you look. The math is simple. There's, you know, and like I said, trust me, there's no shortcuts in anything. Even if you look at the pharmacology, it all comes, you know, with the price to pay. So the question is, you know, how high of a price are you willing to pay? Or you would rather to actually put in the work and get it the way, you know, get it the hard way, but a good way that's gonna, you know, hopefully last. So I got a piece of chicken here. I'm gonna open it up and then I'll cut it in multiple pieces. And like I said, make sure to clean all the surfaces that raw chicken was touching. I'll run a cold water over it and keep washing it down while I'm putting it in a pot. Have a good large sharp knife, that helps. Sometimes if I have like so I don't mind having skin, but if I see like a large sections of fat, I'll throw in the garbage. So like even if let's say if you have wings or stuff like that, like put everything in a pot because of the bones. Like I said, chicken bones have a lot of collagen in it, so you'll get some of that collagen in the broth. It's really good for you. Like if you have stomach problems or digestive problems, chicken soup is really, really good to help you with those. All right. There's a lot of fat on that section, so I'm gonna cut that off. And garbage. Technically, this whole pot is gonna be filled with meat, with chicken. So, and then just gonna top it off with some water. We add some salt, pepper to chicken soup, and the pixie dust, kind of clean ingredients, nothing extra. That's it, and put it on a gas and cook it. That's gonna take about an hour. So you can do your laundry or your cooking or whatever it is in between, and you'll be ready for a whole week. All right, so chicken number 1, it's done. Chicken number 2. When it comes to the beef, there's a debate, grass-fed or not grass-fed. The thing is with the beef, usually ruminant animals, right? So animals that actually chew like grass. So because cows have multiple stomachs, and cows is what you call upcycler because the enzymes they have. Let's say, this is from what I learned from a guy that technically works with, you could say protein expert, has been working with proteins for a long time. And, they did a lot of experiments, is that upcyclers, for example, can take 60 grams of protein from grass, and the enzyme will convert it into 100 grams of protein. Now, us as humans, let's say if you consume 60 grams of protein from vegetables, you can only assimilate, let's say, somewhere maybe 60% of it. So you're actually not going to get the whole protein. because vegetable proteins are embedded in a fiber, and we obviously can digest the fiber, right? So a lot of that protein we cannot actually absorb. It's not useful to us. However, all the proteins from animals we can absorb. So as cows are, like I said, upcyclers, they'll use that 60 grams of grass, convert it into 100 grams of real protein, versus for us, for let's say 100 grams of vegetable protein, we can only assimilate like about 60 to 50. It depends really on type of protein you also eat. And this whole thing is that if cows should be, is the beef, organic beef, more healthier, better? And it kind of shows that when it comes to cows, it's actually not. That you don't necessarily have to eat, grass-fed. On a lot of packing, you're gonna see, like on a chicken, like for example, vegetarian diet. Well, chickens are not meant for vegetarian diets. Chickens usually, outside and they eat bugs or whatever worms they can find in the ground. So for the fact is that it says, let's say, I'll show you, and this is just fucking idiotic, and it's because like I said, it plays on ignorance of people. No added hormones, no added. So raised and harvested. Let me see. I see it as like no added hormones. Well, first of all, it's illegal to be adding hormones to chickens and animals now for slaughtery. So yeah, no kidding, you can add hormones, you don't have to actually advertise that. A fed vegetarian diet, that's not necessarily a good thing, because chickens are not really meant to eat vegetarian diets. They're meant to eat bugs and worms and all kind of stuff. And you can see, especially when you have a farm eggs, I'm talking about like from a real farm, how the yolk is totally different and you actually have a little bit different tasting egg, versus if you buy like a very, those $2 cheap eggs in stores, they look very pale. The yolks, just like I said, the yolks look pale, and just like even the flavor profile, it's much different. So I'll say that if you can, and like I said, this is my opinion, buy organic chicken. Okay, buy organic chicken, but when it comes to the beef, it's really up to you. Grass-fed beef, it's usually has less fat. It's got a little bit, it's actually got a big difference when it comes to the flavor. But in my opinion, it's not necessary when it comes to chicken. I would actually eat, I would actually buy organic chicken, unless sometimes if it's not available, and there are times where the chicken prices were so high, it was actually more expensive than beef, which is kind of ridiculous. So if you're on a tight budget, for example, I understand, if you cannot afford to buy, chicken at the price of like, $7, $8 or $10, for a pound. All right, cutting last pieces. Holy shit. Okay. That chicken was pretty big because it's filled to the brim. I'm just gonna wash my hands and I'll clean this up later to kind of keep this video. I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be and waste your time. If you wash your meat, chicken, beef, whatever it is, also wash it in the cold water. Don't use hot water because the temperature sometimes, with the higher temperature, you can bacteria obviously can grow much faster. And I know it's a I don't like what do you call it? It's a little thing, but it's just like I said, if you're gonna cook or something, try to kind of make a good habits, right off the line. All right, so now next step. So actually, next step is gonna be this. So I have this kind of glass bottle from Spices. And salt is the most important mineral in your body. So I know there's a lot of people who are anti-salt. I add a little bit more than half of this cup to the beef. Half of the cup to the chicken. Pepper. That's a lot, but it's okay. And the pixie dust, I buy these on Amazon. I have like a couple different flavors. They have for beef, chicken, and fish and such. Add a little bit to that. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, and I do add bay leaf, but like I said, you don't have to. It just kind of, I don't know, like my mom, that's how she cooks. So I just got this, I got that after my mom. Pour some cold water. It's gonna, there's so much meat, the water is gonna settle. When it comes to my beef, I used to use avocado oil before, and then, but now what I do, I buy chicken stock, organic, from Costco. You can buy it in Whole Foods and whatnot. And I usually pour about half a carton. So one carton usually lasts me 2 weeks. These are six cartons of chicken stock for about $10 from what I remember. So it's gonna be about, let's say, $1.50 per meal. Let me see. Gotta make there's so much chicken here. It kind of seals the top and the water doesn't go all the way down. All right. Yeah, it's way too much chicken, but what do you call it? Those chicken, probably one chicken breast will be more than enough, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna put this, like you said, it's kind of filled to the brim, as you see. So that's gonna last 7 days. And now, so we added, let me see, we added that chicken stock, and I'll kind of just mix it up with the beef stew, since we have less beef stew than usually. We have more ground beef, and that ground beef it kind of will suck in all that chicken broth once you kind of massage it in. And also you'll massage all the salt and pepper and just kind of mix it up with the vegetables and garlics and onions and everything. Now, chicken soup, I usually add the gas. I'll keep high, and then once it's gonna start cooking, I'm gonna drop the flame to lower and lower, and just have it kind of cook for even like 2 hours. When it comes to the beef, I start same thing as the high flame, and I'll actually cover it. So beef likes to, like I said, so I hit it with the high temperature right off the line, and then beef needs way less time to actually cook, and then once, like I said, once it's gonna start cooking, I'll lower the flame a little bit too, and then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna start cleaning my kitchen and everything, wash down plates, knives, wipe down any surfaces. And like I said, this whole process will take me an hour, but when it comes to actual cook time, I'll leave it on a gas range for, let's say, maximum 2 hours when it comes to the chicken soup. Also, like I said, the chicken soup, I will not cover it with the lid. The beef I do. So I want to create as much high temperature as I can right off the line. So I'm gonna turn the fan on, turn the light. So as you see, we got chicken right here. Maximum gas. Beef is here. Maximum gas. And once you're gonna see, once it's gonna start cooking, the chicken broth is gonna start kind of coming up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the temperature, because if I don't, everything starts to come out from under the lid, and then it creates a big mess. And same thing is with the chicken soup, once it's gonna start cooking, because as you see, the water is up to almost the brim. Same thing is I'm gonna lower the temperature. You're gonna see a lot of fat kind of getting on top of it. So what I do is I have like these small stainless steel cups. I'll pick up all the fat and just put it in a small jar. With the beef, once I put the beef into a fridge, in the morning, it's gonna create all that fat, thick layer. I also pull that out and I throw in a trash can. So that I don't personally eat. You get enough technically, you get about 10 to 15% of fat when it comes to the beef. And, and then like I said, once everything cools down, oh, by the way, before you put in the fridge, make sure this cools down. Don't put hot pots into your fridge, because it will actually spoil faster. And then, like after I come from work, I have a workout. And then I'll just pack my, so I have glass bowls that I buy. I'll pack these glass bowls, one with the chicken, one with beef, and put in the fridge. I wake up in the morning, my food is ready, and technically, so I don't have to cook or prepare anything. And that just gives me, like I said, it just makes my life much easier. So I try to create just as much efficiency as I can into technically my daily routine, because it kind of helps me to sort things out. The glass bowls that I use are pretty much like this. I do not heat anything up in a plastic bowl. And, and I always tell people, because plastic, once you heat it, it gets into your food. So just buy like these, like I said, glass plastic lids. Amazon has them, Costco have them in that particular size. This usually, if I'll pack it up to the top, like I said, gives me about 80 grams of protein on chicken and beef. And yeah, and that's how kind of I do cooking and kind of food prep. And like I said, $10 a day, which is, kind of not bad. And you get a, full chicken meal and full beef meal. You can't get that at a store. You have clean ingredients. There's no artificial anything. Vegetables, like I said, you know, outside of beef, technically, it's all organic. And just pay attention to what you eat. It is, you know, as simple as that. It's your responsibility and it's your job to make sure that whatever you put in your body, it's as clean as you can, and like I said, and home cooked. And I promise you, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna feel healthier, and hopefully you're gonna live a longer life. So, all right, thank you guys for spending time with me while I'm cooking, and see you next video.